Hey Manuel, it's a rainy Friday. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Today is the first day of our 30-day Mentor-Mentee Motivation Challenge, where each and every day for the next 30 days, we will be inspiring each other through tips, advices, quotes, or whatever that we can come up with that will get us through the day. So for this Friday, I want to share a story. Yes, my man, it's going to be storytelling time. So I want you to brace yourself on this one, okay? Alright, here goes. There was a very poor, newly wedded young couple. Yeah, I got artworks for this one too. I prepared, man. One day, the husband went to his wife and said, "Honey, I'm gonna go to a place far away. I'm gonna get a job. I'm gonna work hard. Now, I'm not sure how long I will stay away, but I want you to do one thing for me. I want you to stay faithful to me, okay? Because I promise you that I will be faithful to you as well." The wife agreed and said, "All right." They hugged, and so the young man started his journey. He walked for days until he saw an old farmer, and he seemed to be needing the help. So he offered his services, and the farmer agreed. Realizing that he just got hired for the job, he said, "I want to give my boss my terms." So he went to the boss and said, "Boss, I want to give you my terms for this job. I want you to allow me to work for as long as I can, as long as I want. And then when I feel like I want to go home, you allow me to go home. Now, I do not want to receive my salary, but I want you to save it for me until the time that I go to you and ask for my money." The farmer agreed to these terms. And so, the young man worked hard through the rainy season, through the summer, the winter, basically through all the seasons. He worked hard without pay, without complaint, without holiday, without rest. He worked hard for 20 years. After 20 years, he went to his farmer boss and said, "Boss, I want all of my money because I'm ready to, I really want to go home now." The farmer said, "All right, I agreed to those terms and I'm going to honor those terms. But I want to make you a new deal, man. I have two deals for you. One, you get all of your money, you go home. Or deal number two, I'm going to give you 3 pieces of advice. But here's the catch. If I give you all of the money, you go home, you lose the 3 pieces of advice. But if I give you the 3 pieces of advice, you lose all of the money." Okay? Now, I want you to go back to your room and think about this very carefully. And then come back to me when you're ready. So the man went to his room and started thinking, what's the best deal? Do I get the money, which I worked hard for the last 20 years, or do I get the 3 pieces of advice? It took him 2 days to make up his mind. And he went back to the farmer and said, "Boss, I want the 3 pieces of advice." "Sure about that? Let me just reiterate this, buddy. If I give you the 3 pieces of advice, you lose all of the money, okay?" "Yep, I want the 3 pieces of advice." "All right, you want the 3 pieces of advice. Here's my 3 pieces of advice for you, man. Advice number 1, never take shortcuts in life because short and unknown paths can cost your life. Advice number 2, never be too curious because curiosity towards evil can be deadly. And advice number 3, never make decisions when in pain or angry, because when you repent, it may be too late." So the young man said, "All right, that's it." "Yep, Those are the three pieces of advice. But before you go, I want to leave you with something. The farmer gave the young man 3 pieces of bread, 3 loaves, and said, the first two, this two, I want you to eat on your journey back. But the last one, this last piece, I want you to eat with your wife. Okay? Alright. So the man started his journey excited because after 20 years he's going to be able to see his wife again, whom he loved so much. So he started traveling, and upon his travel, he was walking for days. He met a man. Woo! And said, where are you going, lad? Said, I'm going to be going to a place 20 days away from if I continue walking. The man said, hey, you know what? That's a very long journey, man. I know a shortcut, which will only take you 5 days, man. 5 days. You sure about that? All right. He started walking. All right, just go this way. And he started walking. And then he remembered the first advice, never to take shortcuts in life, because unknown paths can cost your life. When he realized that, he went back to the long path and started his journey again. 5 days later, he heard the news that that shortcut, the people who took that shortcut, were ambushed. Good thing he took the first advice, right? So on he started to travel again, the journey, and he saw an inn where he could rest. Right? So he rested. During the night, he heard a scream, a very wild scream. And he got, and he stood up and wanted to know what it's all about. So upon walking to the door, and he was about to open the door, he realized and remembered the second piece of advice that his master gave him. Never be too curious because curiosity towards evil can be deadly. When he remembered that, he went back to his bed and slept through the night. The next morning, after breakfast, the innkeeper asked him, did you hear that loud shout last night? Yes. Alright, were you not curious what it's about? Nope, I wasn't. Good thing. You know what? You're the first guest who ever came out of this alive, because my neighbor is crazy. He shouts at night to get attention, and when people go to see what it's about, he goes ahead and kills them and buries them in his backyard. So you're the first guest who came out of this inn alive. Good thing he took the second advice, right? So on he started through the journey again. It took him another set of days until he saw his house. And he was like very far away from the house. He can already see the silhouette of his wife. Yeah? He missed his wife so much. But then again, while he's drawing closer to his house, he saw another silhouette of a man. And she was caressing his hair. So this young man was so angry, was filled with hatred and anger. He wanted to rush to his house and kill his wife and the man in the house. But he remembered the third advice, to never make decisions when in pain or in anger. So he decided, let me sleep through this night. But tomorrow, I'm going to make my decision. He was eager. So he went to the bushes and slept there through the night. The next morning, he realized, all right, I'm not going to kill my wife. But rather, I'm going to go back to my master, to my boss, and ask him to take me back. So he went inside to the house, knocked on the door, and the wife opened the door. When she realized who it was, she ran towards him and hugged him. He was still mad. He wanted to push her away but couldn't. So he said something to the wife. He said, you know what? I've been faithful to you for the past 20 years, but you were not faithful to me. The wife was shocked. What? What are you talking about? I've been faithful to you because I love you so much. Who was that man that you were caressing then? I saw you last night caressing. Honey, you were gone for 20 years. He's your son. I realized that when you went away, I was pregnant. And for the last one, he's 20 years old now, honey. When the man realized that, he went down on his knees and asked forgiveness to the wife, hugged her, and met their son. So, when they met each other, realized that it's actually a happy ending after all. The wife prepared coffee for the husband and remembered, hey, I still got my last piece of bread that my master gave me. So they broke the bread. When he broke the bread, he realized that inside that bread there was all of his money. In fact, all of the money that he worked for the last 20 years, there was even more of that, man. More of that money. So that's basically the whole story. Took those 3 pieces of advice, man. So what can we learn from that story? Actually, the boss or that farmer is like our God buddy. When he asks us to sacrifice something for us, he wants us to give it our all. At the same time, not only receiving the material things, but also the wisdom that we get from him. I hope you learned from this one, man. And thank you for taking the time to listen to this story. I enjoyed storytelling. It's been a while since I did that. I hope I get you inspired for the day. Have a great day, man. Thanks.